Champions League Wednesday action. We have Chelsea against Atlético Madrid. We have Bayern Munich against Lazio. Jimmy Conrad and Jonathan Johnson joins us for betting tips, analysis, and much more. Plus, we have a discussion on Zlatan Ibrahimovic as he returns to the Sweden national team. Qué Golazo Champions League Wednesday preview begins right now. Hey everybody, welcome to Qué Golazo Champions League Wednesday preview. Qué Golazo, we obviously have Jimmy Conrad. What's up, Jimmy?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Let's talk about some games that are pretty much done and dusted, are going to be super boring. I'm just kidding. It's going to be awesome.
Let's try and find some gold in this mud.
Let's do it.
But with us, we need the best. And we have the best. Jonathan Johnson from Paris. How are you, my friend?
Hey there, guys. Doing very well. Great to be back with you, and thank you for the little early week boost for my confidence. glad to be considered among the upper echelon of the guests on this pod, or the regulars on this pod.
Well, JJ, if your family's not going to do it, we're going to do it for you. Okay, so don't worry about that.
He's like the Kylian Mbappe of our guests.
my brother's definitely not doing that after I slated Liverpool last week.
That's why I said it. But here's to the future and for reconciliation among siblings. All right, everybody, welcome to the Champions League Wednesday preview. As Jimmy mentioned, these games on Wednesday: Chelsea against Atletico and Bayern against Lazio. Maybe we know what's going to happen, but maybe not. And let's obviously begin from a betting perspective. Jimmy Conrad, what do you have for me as we begin? Let's talk about Chelsea. Chelsea with the 1-0 lead against Atletico Madrid.
Honestly, I don't even know where to start. I kind of want to go to you guys. I mean, do you think Chelsea haven't given up a goal in 5 straight games? They're so good defensively. In leg one, Atletico Madrid didn't even get a shot on goal. And that's with the front three of Angel Correa, Joao Felix, and Luis Suarez. No shots on goal. So I don't really know what to expect. I'm hoping for a 1-1. I'm hoping that there's some type of action, but Chelsea can't score either. And if you get a 0-0 draw against Leeds, you're working really hard defensively and not doing as much going forward. Now, Kai Havertz played in the number 9 spot against Leeds and had a couple opportunities that maybe could have changed that game. That said, I don't really know. So I'm kind of hoping for a 1-1. That's the favorite score line on William Hill at plus 480. So I'm kind of trying to stay away from the score line with you guys, but there is one player in particular that I think this is probably the best value that I could find. Stefan Savage, who's center back for Atletico Madrid. He leads La Liga in yellow cards with 12. Like, the next closest person has 8. He's got 12. I mean, he's just like clear favorite of getting yellows. For him to get a yellow in this game is plus 260. And I love that value because he's due to get a yellow, baby. Let's go, Savage. So and he even feels like that last name, Savage, it was very similar to that Savage. So I think he's going to be a Savage and get a yellow here as Atleti gets more and more frustrated because they're not getting the goal that they want. That's pretty much it. I mean, if you want Chelsea to win and keep a clean sheet, it's plus 225. That's possible. Or if you think Atleti will do the opposite and get a clean sheet, it's plus 440. The exact score line on William Hill 0-0 is plus 650. I think it's going to be a draw. I think Chelsea are going to go through. But, and honestly, can I just say this? This might be controversial. I think it's better for Atleti to lose right now in the Champions League so they can focus on winning La Liga. I said it. I'm done. Thank you.
It's not controversial. I completely agree. And by the way, I feel like those 12 yellows on Savage, I feel like Simeone is like, it's not enough, son. Let's get a few more. Jonathan Johnson, to Jimmy's point about Chelsea's defensive stance, they've only conceded 2 goals since he took over in all competitions, but not necessarily a goal fest from his perspective. What do you see here as Chelsea lead 1-0 going into the second leg against Atleti?
You know what? I quite enjoyed Jimmy's take on the Marco Verratti bingo, as we call it in Paris. You sort of make your prediction at the beginning of the match as to which minute Verratti's going to get his booking, and then you sort of count down to that and sort of have a whip around for the prize each week. Coming into this one, I actually do think that both teams will score. I think it's going to be one of those really weird, improbable ones where, yes, the sort of a goalless draw is the more likely outcome if it's tied. But I agree with Jimmy. I fancy a 1-1. I do think that Chelsea will do enough to sort of solve their goal scoring problems and at least find the back of the net once. I mean, we already know that they've got the advantage of that away goal from the first leg. But I also think that Atleti know that they're coming into this and they absolutely have to score if they want to stand a chance of advancing. We've seen them in the past dig out an improbable result against Liverpool, sort of relatively recently. So, I do think that there is previous there on that front, but it's just difficult to see where the sort of creativity or the spark is going to come from in this Chelsea side at the moment, because I don't think that Tuchel's going to want to move away from this sort of tried and tested formula that he's going for at the moment. It reminds me of when PSG were trying to play their way out of the difficult situation in the group stage earlier this season, where Tuchel will put out the most functional side possible. He'll be very pragmatic, and the tactics will literally be designed just to get the absolute minimal result, that can sort of move the team forward. We saw PSG win at home against Leipzig with a Neymar penalty after about 12 minutes, and then nothing else happened from PSG's point of view for the rest of the game. Leipzig threw the kitchen sink at PSG that night and were unlucky not to score, but they didn't. So Tuchel came out of it with the 3 points, and PSG ended up finishing top of that group. So I think that Tuchel will stick to a similar strategy here, aiming to keep Atleti out, which, let's be honest, especially in the Champions League, is not really that hard to do. But I do think that Atleti will, come out and give it a go, and I can see them both sides scoring. I can see it finishing 1-1 after the 90 minutes and Chelsea going through with that extra goal they scored in the first leg.
JJ will know this. There's a very popular, famous, well-known commercial in the UK, Jimmy, well-known through the years growing up from Ronseal, the wood dye production company. And basically they say, Ronseal, it does exactly what it says on the tin. Nothing less, nothing more. And I feel that this Chelsea Atletico Madrid game is exactly this. It does exactly what it says on the tin. 0-0, 1-0. You will not get more than that. It's just going to be two teams trying to be efficient, proficient. And Jimmy's point about Atleti really just worrying a lot about the La Liga right now, and their lead at the top is probably in the way of everything else. And Diego Simeone is probably seeing the Champions League as a hindrance. And I actually saw Chelsea as, just because their squad is so continentally friendly, I feel even with Lampard, I was like, you know what? Chelsea could go really far in the Champions League. With Tuchel, even more so now. So I see a Chelsea 1-0 win again. Chelsea going through, Atleti, just failing to get anything out of it. But it will be tight. Jimmy, give me your final score prediction. You said 0-0, 12 yellows for Savage, the Savage. Final conclusion here.
No, I'll go with one. I'm hoping for a 1-1, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a 0-0. And in a way that I'm finding value now, I went on William Hill. I put Bayern Munich to win. I'm doing a parlay. Bayern Munich to win straight up. And the draw with Chelsea Atleti, that pays plus 333 on a parlay. I don't mind that so much. I think there's some good value there. That said, Chelsea winning straight up plus 120 is pretty good. And then Atleti, if you think Atleti can do it, even if they win 1-0, then it goes to extra time. That's plus 245 for Atleti to win straight up. I think it's going to be a 1-1. I hope it's going to be a 1-1. I could see a 0-0. I don't think that, given Chelsea's penchant at the moment of relying on Mason Mount, who's suspended for this one, Jorginho's out for this one, Tammy Abraham is hurt. Yes, obviously they have all this firepower. And honestly, if Christian Pulisic can't start this one, we're going to have to talk about Christian Pulisic's future. I don't think it's at Chelsea. But I would say that they have options, obviously, people that can score, but those guys aren't necessarily confident. Olivier Giroud might be the one guy. I'm curious to see if he starts, obviously, after scoring the bicycle in leg one. Got to keep going with that mojo. This is a tough one. And to your point, and to what I said before, Atletico Madrid, I don't think they can win both competitions. I really don't. So why not just casually get out of one so you can focus on the one where you actually have a true lead and could push on and win the league. So I don't think Diego Simeone would be sad if he got knocked out by Chelsea at this point.
Yeah, by the way, Christian Pulisic, make sure that you listen to Fabrizio Romano for us this week on Qué Golazo, talked extensively about what's going on there because they are Chelsea clubs interested in Chelsea's star. Jonathan Johnson, final score prediction on this one.
I'm going to stick with the 1-1. I can't see anything other than a draw. And I keep noticing in the background Jimmy's lovely message for us both.
What is it? What's this?
It really warms the cause.
It says, I love Luis and Jonathan.
Aw, that's so nice. Well, you know what? I have
Thank
it
you.
tattooed on my arm, Jim.
I thought you were going to say somewhere else, but I'll take the arm for sure.
No, it's a family show. It's a family show. All right. Listen, everybody, we're going to come right back. Qué Golazo pod will be right back. And when we come back, well, we will try and get even more gold out of Bayern against Lazio. Qué Golazo Champions League Wednesday preview. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Qué Golazo pod Wednesday Champions League preview. Jonathan Johnson and Jimmy Conrad. We've just talked Chelsea against Atleti. We now go to Bayern Munich, the defending Champions League champion, with a 4-1 lead heading into it as they host Lazio. Jimmy, I mean, Lazio were just a mess in the first leg. I don't see much here, do you? But what do you have for me betting tips-wise?
I'm going to say that you're right. Lazio don't have much going in this one. They do have Ciro, the hero Immobile in their team, though, so I suspect that they're probably going to score. Joaquin Correa scored in the first leg. Ciro, the hero, is definitely due to hit the back of the net. It's been, I think, 7 games since he's scored, so he's due. The one thing that you can count on in your life outside of death and taxes is Lewandowski to score, Bayern to win, and both teams to score, especially this season where Bayern give up a lot of goals. That's plus 190. It hit last week. It's hit, 5 out of the 6 times I've ever played it. So I really like that one a lot. And I think the bookies know as well, because that's the lowest I've ever seen it. So Lewandowski to score, Bayern to win, both teams to score plus 190. I wanted to get Thomas Muller a line to find him giving an assist. They usually have player props with an assist with players. Thomas Muller's got 3 assists in his last 3 games since coming back from COVID. And they've got no line for Thomas Muller getting an assist. I see you, William Hill, and I don't like it because I wanted to bet on that. You were going to be printing free money on that one. So, again, I have another yellow card one, Lucas Leiva. He plays in the middle of the field. He got a yellow in the first leg. He's just going to be chasing around a lot of players, Thomas Muller in particular. I could see him getting frustrated like he did in the first leg, and that leading to a yellow. For him, he's 34 years old, can't cover the ground like he used to. That's plus 240 if you want to get into that yellow card player prop stuff. That said, it's been tough to find value here. I want you guys to consider Bayern to win first half. And I think they're going to win the first half, try to put the game and the whole thing to bed, and then just going to chill in the second half. So I think it's going to be a draw in the second half. That's plus. So Bayern win first half, draw second half, plus 450. I think Bayern wins 3-1. So I looked at the value for that. Bayern winning exactly 3-1 is plus 900. So take that for what it is. I'm just trying to throw you guys something here because it's so one-sided to Bayern. It's tough, but that Lewandowski to score, Bayern to win, both teams to score plus 190 is probably my safest bet.
See, Jimmy, this is why I love you, because that's exactly what I have. I have 3-1 Bayern Munich. Every Champions League home game for Hansi Flick has a 18-3 aggregate score. So you know where this is going. Bayern's going to score a lot. Maybe Lazio will get one, but it's done and dusted. Jonathan Johnson, wrap this up for us. It's not too hard, is it? Bayern is taking this.
Absolutely. I've not gone 3-1 like you guys. I've gone 2-1.
Oh, okay.
I do agree that, I think that Bayern probably will try and put it to bed with 1 goal quite early on, and then just relax after that, take their foot off the gas. But I think as well, I'm expecting more from Lazio. I think that they know that they're very unlikely to be able to make it into the quarters, but I do think that they will try to play for pride, put in a much better performance, better organization, show more heart than they did in the first leg. And for that reason, I can see them keeping the score lower than it was in the opening leg. But it's impossible to see past Bayern. I mean, one of the reasons that probably explains, that rate on Lewandowski is the fact that there's maybe some expectation that he might be rested, because this is a good opportunity for Hansi Flick to rotate, keep some of his important legs fresh. But then again, there's always that risk, in European competition, that if you rest players unnecessarily, you break up some of the chemistry, some of the rhythm, especially after such a commanding first leg where they never really got out of, I'd say, third gear. And I do think that Bayern will still stroll to the victory on aggregate. I just don't think that it'll be by as big a scoreline as it was in the first leg. I do expect Flick to tinker a little bit, rotate 1 or 2 guys, but overall, I think that this Bayern juggernaut will push on.
Yeah, maybe right about the 2-1. I mean, the first goal that they conceded Lazio in the first leg was just a terrible mistake. So you're not expecting that will happen again. I'm going 3-1 regardless. Jimmy, you sticking with 3-1?
Yeah, I am. And I think to Jonathan's point, I hadn't really thought about Lewandowski potentially not starting, but I could also see Hansi Flick giving him 60 minutes and then bringing him out with 30 minutes to go once the game is pretty much in hand. And I say that because when I look at their schedule, because RB Leipzig dropped points this weekend against Eintracht, they have a 4-point lead at the top. They've got Lazio, they got Stuttgart, and then they play RB Leipzig, right? So to maintain that form and rhythm that JJ was talking about is really important. So maybe Lewandowski does stay in, but you also could create a narrative to see if why he would want to rest him, because that RB Leipzig game could really determine if they could get that 7-point gap at that point. They're going to be untouchable to win the Bundesliga. So lots of big games for them, but interesting couple weeks for Bayern to really secure some trophy status, as it were.
Yeah, let's not forget there's an international break as well after the end of this week. So there's also another break for some, obviously not Lewandowski with the UEFA World Cup qualifiers. All right, Jonathan. So you're sticking with the 2-1, JJ.
Exactly.
All right, exactly right. See, there it is. 3-1, 3-1, 2-1. All right, well, that's it. That's our Wednesday Champions League preview. Final word from both of you. Any final thoughts before we say goodbye? Jimmy Conrad.
I've got nothing.
See, I love the honesty. That's it. Listen, my time. I've clocked my time. How about you, JJ? Come on, JJ, give us something.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I found really interesting is obviously we're recording this on the Tuesday before the Wednesday games, and the big talking point of the Tuesday news was Zlatan Ibrahimovic announcing his return to the Sweden national team. So that kind of intrigues me. I mean, obviously we've seen Zlatan do this in the past, where he's decided he wants to take a bit of a sabbatical from his international duties, sort of plays retirement and then comes back out again. He obviously feels that Sweden have a good chance of success in the Euros, possibly as well with the World Cup, because I know there's that Lothar Matthaus record that could be in play if he's still active in 2022 as well. But I'm kind of a little bit concerned about how much of a risk this is for his status within Swedish football, considering the way he's gone off the boil in recent months. I think he works best and performs best when he's absolutely focused on his soccer. And he doesn't seem to have been doing that much recently. We've seen him go to the Sanremo Music Festival. There's been more talking about him off the pitch than on it. And I think if he, sort of gets back to doing the basics well, before sort of, looking to make that jump as a celebrity that he's been trying to do over the last couple of years. This comeback with Sweden could work out, but it does have the potential to backfire if he keeps getting sidetracked by all of the stuff that surrounds him off the pitch.
Jimmy, thoughts on that?
Yeah, I have a hot take. I think that Sweden is better without Zlatan in their team. I just think he's a big distraction, and despite his talent, which I have nothing but respect for, I think too much circulates around him, and it detracts from the team, emphasis on the team. And as we saw in the last World Cup, Sweden can do okay without having Zlatan in it. So that's just my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say is, you cannot deny the things that he has given to this game, the statistics, everything, but he is the most annoying player sometimes. He is his own worst enemy. Enough is enough sometimes. Back to JJ's point, just stick to your football. I mean, no, no, I don't want to say that, because that sounds like, you should just be a slave to the game. You're obviously free to say whatever you want. What I don't like is what JJ said, which is sometimes I feel he wants to create this teasing drum, right? This kind of controversy where there is none, and it's just obviously you say whatever you want, do whatever you want. You've obviously earned that, and you're more than a player, but sometimes you are your worst enemy. And I agree with you, Jimmy. I just think, Sweden, you should just focus and move on.
That's the thing. I think they were ready to move on without him, right? He had been the main guy for so many years. They got as far as they were going to get with a player of his stature. And now I think they needed to focus more on the collective instead of the individual, but we'll see.
Yeah, but good point there, Race Jonathan Johnson. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. JJ, thank you, my friend.
Thanks a lot, guys. This has been a pleasure as always, and looking for the next one.
Absolutely. Jimmy Conrad, thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody. I want to thank Jimmy Conrad and Jonathan Johnson for joining me today. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Qué Golazo Pod. We are on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, and make sure that you follow us on the website. And by the way, don't forget about March Madness, cbssports.com/Golazo brackets. Fill in your bracket before Thursday's deadline, because March Madness is here, and so is Qué Golazo. Enjoy the Champions League, Europa League. We'll be right back with so much more on Qué Golazo. Have a great week.